All right, let's take another caller right now. Neil in Mississauga, go ahead.
Yes, good evening, David. My question is on Cisco Systems. It's gone back just a tad bit. Would this be an opportunity to buy more, or is it a straight hold, or would you look somewhere else? Thanks for your assistance. Bye
Great.
now.
Neil, thanks very much for your call. So Cisco is at the heart of the Internet of Things. We have another company we'll talk about today. Clearly, machines, appliances, everything in the next wave here will be connected to the Internet. We had a conversation this week about the garbage cans in New York City that all have sensors in them. And as they get close to full, there's a signal that goes to the city, come and empty this garbage can. So Cisco is really in the middle of all that networking. At the same time, it's one of those 7 or 10 very large tech companies that are being used a little bit as a source of funds over the last couple of weeks. I don't think that that's fatal at all. The stock's pulled back 7 or 8% after having made a new high only a few weeks ago. So this is a reasonably conservative way to play the Internet of Things. And I think that it's one that you could certainly own. It generates tons of cash. I think that the market didn't love the guidance that came out of their conference call on growth. They're pretty conservative typically on their guidance. So I would give this one some space. We own some stock, and it's a good theme. And I think, interestingly, in the last few days, a lot of the big cap tech names that had been getting sold have seen a bit of a bid. So I would give it some time.
Okay, let's take another caller right now. Eric in Toronto, go ahead.
Hi. I'd like to ask about General Dynamics. Thinking of picking up the stock around 150. It was a little trigger shy. Obviously, it's moved up a little bit since then. Just wondering what you think about it going forward. Thanks.
Sure. So, Eric, defense is a theme that we've been focused in for about 2 years. On this show, we've talked about Lockheed Martin, Northrop Grumman, and General Dynamics over the last couple of years. Again, technically, this group has broken out. The interesting thing about the defense sector is that these companies are the only companies that never tell you about what's coming next. There's a built-in optionality for the things that they're developing because, of course, they're secret, and so you pay for what you get today. What we did know coming into the election was that whether it was going to be Hillary or whether it was going to be Donald, one of them would wind up spending more money on defense because the U.S. has been at about a 10-year low in spending growth. So this group is going to benefit probably from this administration, especially given the fact that they have control of all of the pieces of power. These companies are great companies to begin with. We always encourage people to buy things that are good getting better. You don't want to buy things that are broken depending on something to get fixed. These were strong coming in, and they were trading at relative strength highs versus the market. So they've broken out. Could they pull back a little bit? Sure, they could. I don't expect significant pullback in the group. Technically, they look very sound. I would be very comfortable buying either General Dynamics or Lockheed or Northrop Grumman or a handful of about 7 or 8 other defense stocks.
Okay, let's take another caller right now. Patrick in Peterborough, go ahead.
Hello, thank you for taking my call. I recently purchased some CN Rail, thinking the north-south orientation would be beneficial. I'm wondering if CPR has recently moved more significantly. Did I make a mistake? Your opinion would be appreciated. Thank you.
Okay.
Patrick, you asked a question that we've been debating. We own CN coming in. One of the areas of industrials that has been performing very well was transports, and I thought that was a really important tell because the transports began selling off at the beginning of the correction in 2015 in the U.S., and that was a tell that maybe there was some weakness coming. And coming into the fall of this year, the transports were very regularly picking up on a relative basis versus the market. So CN Rail is one that we own. Of course, north-south may not be as good if there's a problem with NAFTA. At this point, we haven't heard anything, whether something that's going to be at the top of the agenda or not. My sense is whatever happens is probably not going to be as friendly to Canada going forward. So that has been a lag on CN. We like the group. If I had to make a choice today, I might buy CP first.
Okay.
Or I might look at something like a Norfolk Southern in the U.S., which has more U.S. specific exposure. I do like the group as a whole, though. the east-west might be a little bit better for now.
Okay, we're going to be back after the short break. Past picks are coming up next.